So for this part of the lesson, we're going to have a look at the OR rule in probability. Okay, so this is when you can use a particular formula to calculate the probability of mutually exclusive events. Hopefully you've been doing your Knowledge Organiser homework and recognise that this is a particular reference to your Knowledge Organiser work. So I want you to hit pause in a second, have a look at these questions, see what you can answer, use your Knowledge Organiser to help you, and then hit play when you're ready for me to go through it with you. Okay, so question 1 says, what are mutually exclusive events? Well, hopefully you've already looked up from your Knowledge Organiser that mutually exclusive events are events that cannot happen at the same time. Okay, so that's the actual definition. So two things that can't occur at the same moment in time. All right, and therefore if we have a look at question 2, we are trying to find out by looking at each of these events, if we are selecting a single card from a pack of playing cards, can I have these two things happen at the same time or not? Okay, so if we think about part A, getting a red card and a diamond. So we can get a red diamond. Okay, so anything that is a red diamond can happen at the same time, and therefore this is not mutually exclusive. Okay, so they can happen. All right, so not mutually exclusive for part A. If we then have a look at part B, can we get a spade and a king at the same time? Yes, you can, because you can get the king of spades. All right, so again, this is also not mutually exclusive. And if we have a look at part C, so can we get a king and an ace at the same time? No, so a king and an ace are two very different types of cards, regardless of their colour, so they cannot happen at the same time, and therefore these two are mutually exclusive. Okay, so that gives you an example of two things that can't happen at the same time and therefore are mutually exclusive. So it also says, how do you calculate the probability of mutually exclusive events? So again, hopefully you've seen this on your Knowledge Organisers, but there is a formula that you need to know and recognise for this one. So I'll pop that in there. So the probability of mutually exclusive events means one thing can happen or the other thing can happen. Hence, we recognise this as the OR rule. And therefore, to calculate the probability of something happening or something else happening, we actually have the two individual probabilities and we add them together. You'll also see some of this type of notation, so it's just like a little bit of a U there, and that just means or. It's a mathematical way using set notation to mean or. So just in case you come across some questions with that symbol in, just make sure that you recognise that. Okay, so I'll draw it here. So it's just a U, that means or. Okay. And then if we have a look at question 4 then, so we can apply the rule. A bag contains red, yellow and blue counters. The probabilities of randomly selecting each colour are shown in the table. Find the probability of selecting a counter that is red or blue. So in terms of using the correct notation, we would start off with the probability of red or blue. So remember, that's how we write down probabilities of events. And because it's the OR rule, we can use this thing, so we can split it up into two separate parts. So the probability of red added to the probability of blue. And therefore, from the table, we can look them up. The probability of red was 0.3. And then we add that to the probability of blue, which is 0.2. And then we work it out to give us a probability of 0.5. Okay, so there's a few questions set for you on the Google Classroom. Give them a go. Remember to upload a picture of your work at the end.